proper pronunciation.
We'll say it's right. That's what we'll do.
It's at least close. I can tell you that.
It is definitely close. Let's go to game number 2 in this best of 5 series and see if Granit Gaming can make this series close. See if they can tie it up or if we'll be having a large lead for the Zealots. We are going to Cursed Hollow, as Granit Gaming will have the first pick.
Cursed Hollow, game number 2. And that's a map where we have seen the Zealots already. Actually picked it once, have played twice here. They lost both. But they still like to play the map, and I mean, it's a map where Cognix also likes to shot call. This was actually where they lost the last time with Genji as he zipped out of the Sanctification. Yeah. So let's look better. We talked about how they said, hey, we need a bit more time. We need more practice time. We haven't really found our rhythm yet, simply because we could start with practice very late after the mid-season brawl, since Cognix just came back. And the style that he brings to the team is just different from what they experienced before. They also have, of course, now a new frontliner with Roba-Doba, so they feel like, it feels like they find more of that synergy.
Yeah.
It's, of course, unfortunate for them. If that's really all that it takes, then it feels unfortunate for them that they have a double header at the first weekend. But now they are in a spot where they can at least grab a first victory against Granit Gaming. Series isn't over yet, so still a bit cautious here, but Zealots definitely looking smoother in the way that they execute things and a bit more on the same page when it comes to communication, and that's what we were asking for the entire time.
For me, I want to see if that smoothness transcends over here to Cursed Hollow. Just because there are moments that you were talking about Quack and his shot calling, there are moments where he'll try and split off a split push in the bottom, maybe sending 2 over to an area, having someone soak in the middle lane, or trying to slow down rotations. And Cursed Hollow will show that type of shot calling that he pulls off, and whether or not this team is ready to really kind of embody that type of play style. So Tracer gets banned out, Abbott there as well, meaning Genji is up and available. Zealots did pick Genji last time on this battleground, and Granit Gaming is going to leave that up. So Dahaka is the first pick for them.
Not sure if I saw Dahaka coming, with URL now being in such a high priority. It adds the global. I would say that there's a good chance that Zealots are going to try and reply with Falstad. Very early. No, not here, not in this rotation.
Just later on, yeah.
Later on, if it's still available, I think they will try and mirror the global at least to make sure that they are not getting out macroed in the long run. But for now, that leaves Zealots again with the question, okay, do you want to go into URL? Do you want to go with Blaze here instead? And it also leaves Genji open, so there's another pick that we usually don't see because he gets banned out. So Genji URL might be an opening here for them.
Genji URL could be good. Could also think about Genji Mouth.
I mean, you can also leave Genji open, you can also leave URL open, because even if Granit Gaming, it's very unlikely that Granit Gaming picks another offlaner. So even if they ban out URL, you still have Blaze to fall back onto, or vice versa. So you don't have to pick URL now.
URL? Do we get the Genji? Genji comes out for Quack. So Granit Gaming, they've been sticking with the Malfurion when they have the chance and available.
That's the hero that I could have seen Zealots pick over URL.
Yeah.
Saying you pick Malfurion Genji in your first rotation, you leave URL open. Most likely Granit Gaming is not going to go into another offlaner, so even if they ban URL out instead of URL, you then go for Blaze. So that would have been a variation that I could have seen, that you try to prioritize Malfurion highly enough that you say, okay, that's worth more, because no matter what happens on the other end, we still get a great offlaner.
Yep. The Genji was the shoe-in for me, and that was it.
Yeah, but then again, URL, I mean, she is not a global, but with the mobility that she provides, she is through the Divine Pick on level 7, at least in a position where she can traverse those lanes a little bit quicker and get double soak if it's really needed.
She's fast. Only beaten by Eric the Swift. Murden and Hanzo coming out for a second and third pick. I was wondering if maybe we would shy away from the Hanzo with Genji being on the field. Hanzo typically has a harder time dealing with Genji on the back line, but it's Granit Gaming special right now.
I mean, I like the CC train that they have if the arrow connects. Meridian Stormbolt, Dahaka with the drag. So there's a lot there where they can stack CC against someone. The arrows, of course, have to connect, and they were a bit unfortunate when it came to Battlefield of Eternity. A lot of them missing out and barely getting dodged towards the end. Didn't make it easy for them to confirm a kill.
And on top, you can't forget about the boss control.
Yeah.
All available here for Granit Gaming. Global, boss. We'll see if they can fight well around the tributes. Mostly where I'm a little bit worried. Murden will definitely help out with that. Over to Zealots in terms of bans. Any supports you're worried about here? Maybe stay a while and listen, but they actually just take away the Falstad.
Yeah, that was actually something that I was wondering now that we have Genji played, because Chris is not really known as the massive Falstad player. I mean, he can play Falstad, but at the same time, if he has the choice, he's definitely moving into something else. So Originally, after the Dehaka pick, I actually thought, okay, Falstad would be a response on the side of Zealots, but then after Genji is taken, it's always the question, do you really shift Chris away from his heroes just because if Falstad is taken, it's Quacknix on Falstad in my mind. But with Genji already taken, do you shift really Chris away from his heroes and force him onto one of the others and make a bit of role swap? So I couldn't really see that. So the ban on Falstad makes a bit more sense just simply because you're trying to make sure that there's no double global against you. For Granit Gaming in the same vein, it makes a lot of sense to ban out Li Ming since they know that with a full reset combo and Quack on Genji and Li Ming being played by Chris, they could be in a lot of trouble if those fights go at any point against them. And now Phoenix again for Chris and Malfurion. Very, very late Malfurion here.
Yeah,
actually super. It's surprising that they are able to get Malfurion this late in the draft.
Chris seeming to stay on the Phoenix as of late. Shying away from that reset comp with Li Ming being banned out. Granit Gaming, you'll be looking for their support here. Deckard has been a main go-to, but I actually did enjoy Karazim. Played with aggressive compositions, but the issue is their assassins aren't very dive-heavy. So Deckard seems to make a little bit more sense here.
I mean, we've still seen a little bit more Rhaegar play now that his changes came through, so that's something that maybe they are considering as well.
Yeah, and there's double tank.
Samuro!
Oh, okay.
That was actually banned out against them recently. When was that? It wasn't the series that we saw from Granit Gaming against Fnatic. Was that when Samuro was banned? Yes.
Yeah.
That was actually on Sky Temple when Fnatic banned out Samuro against them.
So we'll get the Samuro train here. Always fun to deal with.
Yeah, Samuro and the Global. It's a lot of tools for Granit Gaming to play around.
If they win a curse, they're going to run with it. Samuro in a lane, Dehaka as well. Being able to shred through forts. Zealot on their side here, looking for their main tank. Johanna's up and available, safe. Helps with wave clear.
I mean, you still have Garrosh as well. If
Yeah.
you really want it for Zealots, but I'm a little bit torn in it too. Like, Johanna wouldn't really be bad. You have the added wave clear. If you want the combo, then Diablo with Lightning Breath and the Phoenix Salvo could be something that you're looking for too.
Robodoba has played some Diablo in the past.
There we have it.
There it is.
I wonder what else they consider. Like, Diablo is the one, when you look at synergy in the composition, he stands out. But they waited for a long time with like picking and confirming it. So I'm really curious. I mean, we know a couple of choices, right? We know Johanna was still open, Garrosh is an option.
Yep.
So I'm personally just curious what else they would consider here. I think from Robodoba's perspective, he probably wants to play Garrosh just because he's so strong on him. But I am curious to maybe later hear what Quacknix was thinking about here, what he felt like, okay, what else fits into this?
I was thinking the Garrosh too, because last week we saw him play against Murden actually with Garrosh, and they were able to find multiple combos where they tossed him into a bush and they deleted him right away. But looks like we're going to get the Diablo instead, and we'll see how that will pay off here for the Zealots. So we're on the right side. Do you think Samuro will be a thorn in the side of the Zealots, or will they be able to control him?
Samuro is always a thorn in your side. The question is simply, is it going to be enough? So I like the comp that we have for Zealots a lot more than I like the comp that they had in the last game, and they already executed that really, really well. So I think they have a good chance of taking this.
Well, let's go to game number 2 on Cursed Hollow. On the left side in the blue, Zarmany on Yrel Robodoba playing Diablo, Quacknix on Genji, Shad on Malfurion, and Chris back to Phoenix.
In down one game in the best of 5 and over to the right side of the map. In game number 2, we have Granit Gaming with Memecraft again on Hanzo. Darkmorg plays Dehaka. We're seeing Wolfjo currently in the support role with Deckard Kane, Raid Boss on Muradin. And Nanda will be playing Samuro in this game. Played that already in the first phase of 2018, and let's find out if with Dehaka as a global and Samuro, it's going to be enough to play around the Zealots here on a very big map, one of the biggest in the pool, and of course also a map where you can make a lot of tactical decisions around 2 bosses and 3 lanes plus the objective.
Third win coming online for Raid Boss. Feeling like he'll take a lot of poke on that front line, so he's wanting to be able to jump in and out and sustain through. Should be a nice safe pick for him. Zarmany waiting here to jump into that lane and clear it out. One of the great things about the latest changes to Urel is her ability to clear out the waves. If you just jump straight onto the minions, you are annoying.
Do you know why Urel jumps all the time?
Why does she jump all the time?
Because she can. I would jump too if I could. Like that.
Is that just like... Is that a German joke or...
It's not even a joke, it's just like... I think it's a little bit humorous, but...
You know why Genji attacks people?
That's not the same thing.
Because he can.
That's not the same thing.
Because he can.
It's not even close. That does not compare.
Yes, it does.
You're not funny.
It's the exact same one. Do you know why Deckard Cain heals?
Hey, you laughing doesn't make you funny. Stop copying my jokes.
That's hilarious.
You're just jealous because you didn't come up with it yourself.
I didn't come up with
yeah.
a statement as a joke.
It's not a statement. Like, she's...
Do you know why Diablo charges in?
Dude, when we get home...
When we get home. Okay.
We're gonna have a talk, mister.
the threats come out. Help me, Twitch chat. Chris working on the night camp here. We'll get that cleared out on the top. A little bit on the early side, but Samuro doing the same. Something you should be worried about when you're playing against the Samuro composition, because they will try to focus mercenary camp if they can to try and offset the lane pushing to buy Samuro a little bit more space. And Zealots realizing this, get Giants night camp at the same time to push out the top and the middle. Almost synchronized. Pretty impressive, actually.
Yeah, no, with Samuro, we had really strong part interface. It was actually originally Ethereum who brought the hero in, and then we had Nanda also playing Samuro a bit in phase 1 of 2018 here. And it all got inspired by Monkey, a Hero League player that apparently Zero faced off so many times that he said, like, that one trick is annoying me so much with Samuro. That hero actually has potential. So they were trying to use that. And it was a bit of a fad for just a little bit, and to an extent successful. So it can definitely offset this if a team is having trouble adjusting to it. And, you know, with how much Zealots were struggling to really find the rhythm in the first weekend, I can understand that Granit Gaming just goes for it. And from the ban on Fnatic's side against Granit Gaming, banning out Samuro, you can actually tell that they experienced this at least in scrims. So it's something that Granit Gaming just doesn't really throw out there. They actually have this practice and have a strategy around that.
Well, so far, strategy is setting themselves up to grab this tribute here. As Nana continues to work on the top and be annoying to Urel, Zealots elect to go ahead and give it up here. With the night camp being pushed in the middle, they had to clear it out. And they don't want to allow Dahaka too much time to soak up, so leave Phoenix down there. So that'll be one tribute going over to Granit Gaming, but Zealots elect to try and grab it a little bit of experience here as they soak up the middle and the bottom side, even putting some damage on that turret.
Yeah, and not only a bit of damage, Chris is actually already working on the gate here. Memecraft moving in. I like how Genji just was aggroing this the entire time. I mean, Memecraft spots him, but it's just so nice to see that Zealots are having this little trap set up where they're saying, hey guys, if they move out, we can go for it. And they still have Shat in the bush too. But that's of course one of those indications by Granit Gaming. You can see it at the top lane. They play so safe because they know there's at least 2 heroes missing. And at that moment, you need to assume that they're on your lane and they're trying to gank you. So they're playing a bit safe, unless you are actively then searching for them and trying to turn things around.
Playing with vision, a strength that a lot of folks can learn in this game.
Yeah.
It is more powerful. Knowledge is probably the most powerful thing you can have in this game. Sure, you can work on your mechanics, you can work on your team synergies, but being able to deny knowledge to your opponents makes sure that they are unable to make the plays that they want.
Especially when you're on a tank and that doesn't have wave clear, it makes oftentimes sense to just sit in the bush at the side and let the rest of your team clear the way if you don't do anything about it. But if someone comes, you are going to be ready and trapping them. Talking about trapping people, Memecraft is actually a bit of a trap here, and he goes down as we have Genji just deleting him after the initial move by Roba-Doba. Once again, Hanzo being the focus. Memecraft not having a good day so far.
Did he actually jump into that crevice with his natural agility over the wall?
Seems like it, yeah.
Because Deckard had the interrupt. There was no need for that. With Sonic Arrow too, you should have been fine if you want to come around the front of the turret. I don't know, man. It seems a bit of a iffy decision there, and that's definitely going to hurt the team. As Zealots jump up to 8.5 in experience, they grab a tribute as well, the first one for them, and they open the top lane.
Phantom Pain, by the way, now taken for Samuro on level 7. Haven't really followed up too much on this build, but on level 1 we see the Way of Illusion, currently sitting at half his stacks, 19 of the 40 that he needs. The deflection coming in on level 4, so the extra armor that is granted. depending on his mirror images, and the Phantom Pain right now. So very heavily focused into that. For now, he's actually doing pretty well, also going for the stacks here. Zamening is giving a couple of free stacks over, additional 5, sitting at 24 now. But the late game is where Zamuro usually shines, and that's really where you want to have him. So Granit Gaming is going to try and play for those late game scenarios.
And it's moments like that where you can point and say, this is why Divine Seed is a powerful pickup. I've seen a lot of discussions around at level 7 where people are like, I don't understand why Divine Seed's good, the ability to instant mount. Right there, we just saw Zarmany be able to jump away, thanks to an Avenging Wrath, and then instantly mount up where Dahaka couldn't catch him.
Are you serious? There are people who actually think that's a bad talent?
No, there is some actual arguments where it's like, why would you ever pick that talent?
Okay, I can understand when people make an argument in favor for a different talent by saying that Divine Steel is not a good talent. It's just insanity.
I mean, I agree.
The mobility that you get, and also how it makes you basically ungankable. And as a solo laner, that's just absolutely amazing. And you have late game value as well. So yeah, that's a bit of a weird thing. Yeah, I actually haven't read that.
Yeah, something that
blows my mind.
Blew my mind a little bit, yeah, at the moment.
I mean, especially with how consistent you see it being picked right now. I mean, that, yes, this is pro play, but still, like, the ability of your opponent to gank a solo laner is usually what can decide games, because it oftentimes gives you a lane advantage. So just that mobility to have that, to rotate between lanes, have a double soak active, not falling victim to ganks, that alone for a level 7 talent is already just like, oh.
It was to the point where before she got buffed, that was one of the reasons why I felt like she could still be strong, because you have the ability to switch between those lanes. Regardless, level 7, way to go, and you can see why there. Being able to dodge out in ganks, force fights, etc., etc. Now, 10 hits for both of our teams. Lightning Breath online with the Salvo combo we've been seeing from a lot of teams. Looking over to Granit Gaming. Mirrors, or Master of Illusions, coming available here for Samuro, so being able to spread out on the map and push as need be. They go straight for a boss here as they're trying to clear it up. Raid boss scouts out, though, as Zealots start to rotate over.
Yeah, they're trying to sneak this, and they might be able to pull that off. Look how Raid boss even pops Avatar. Arrow comes out, and they get the boss. And that comes at a time when we're looking at the potential third tribute for the Zealots. So this is actually a really decent timing for them. But they had to pop Avatar for it, and also Hanzo's arrow. So that's 2 cooldowns that they just used, whereas Zealots didn't use 1. So now they're going to try and buy some time here.
Isolation actually misses on Quacknix as well, meaning that Zealots can force a fight, and they're trying to. Zarmany comes in, finally goes in for the jump. Minecraft across the wall here. Should have that natural agility if he wants to go in for a jump. There he goes, waiting for that knockout to come in. A little bit of pressure on the back line as Salvo connects, but Granit Gaming able to sustain, and they do have that top lane pushing in, so they're willing to continue to poke here and slow down the tribute from being grabbed, even the clone coming over here and delaying Shad.
Yeah, delaying it for now, so the boss still gets value. The question that I have still is, how much value do you get if you curse now even? I mean, still the tribute hasn't been taken, and the boss is moving through. The Haka is there as well. The more time they use to delay all of this, again they're delaying Shad here, the more the Haka gets out of this. The top 4 is nearly gone.
Finally, Zealots are able to force it. They move in, they go for an X strike. We're going to have Wolfjo take some damage here. Maybe have a potion.
Dark
no
Maw
potion on the back left. Dark Maw going straight for Shad as well, trying to take out the support.
Yeah, they're going straight for Malfurion, and that's a confirmed kill. They take him down.
Arrow.
The cut is gone. Arrow moves through. Again, not hitting, unfortunately, for them. Great for the Zealots, of course, dodging out on that. Raid boss is low and might fall here as Quacknix goes in. It's Chris who confirms the kill with Phoenix. Quack himself on the run. And taken down as Memecraft hits the arrow. That boss is, by the way, still active.
Yeah, Granit Gaming has bought time with this. Now, finally, the curse should be going over as Chris is going to get to that third tribute, but the boss pushed the entire top lane, got that fort with the help of Dahaka.
Oh, that's actually bad.
Granit Gaming's going to focus on this middle lane.
They just, because they took the boss, they just lost 3 waves at the top lane. There was 2 to 3 waves that were accumulating with the boss, and they lost every single one of that inexperience because the fort just simply took every minion down before anyone was in experience range. So that actually hurts a little bit.
Zealots will find some experience in the bottom lane, though, with that fort being cleaned up. Dahaka cleaning it up as he can as well. He's at 13, but Granit Gaming so far weathering the storm. Zarmany a little bit aggressive here on the top lane, though. He wants his fort.
Yeah, they're going to get the fort, so they will still be ahead. The Zealots are still going to take the structures and will push themselves ahead, but it could have been way worse for Granit Gaming if the Zealots would have picked all of the experience on the lanes as well. As is, they fall behind, especially in structures, but they should still be in range.
Gotta enjoy Granit Gaming's play there. Going for the sneak boss, even doing everything here to delay it. We do have an attempt on this boss here in the bottom left.
Oh,
Quack gets hit there. Stormbolt connects. Diablo is the next one to be focused. Drag comes out. They're trying to focus him down ASAP.
Yeah, and there's everything hitting him. The isolation is on. They get the kill against Diablo, and he had the soul, so he's losing out on those. Shad actually triggers the boss at this point. Needs to be careful with that. Darkmonk missing out on the tongue, was hoping for a follow-up kill. Zarmony is still thinking, we're going to go for it, yes or no. There is the boss on the map, so that's a focus point now. But look at the experience after the curse. Curse is over, and Zealots are barely ahead in experience. That's exactly what we've been talking about. They took the structures, but they lost on a massive amount of minions at the top lane since they were moving in with the boss. And as the curse hits, no one is in range to soak the experience, and the minions get wiped out.
Zealot's attention are completely down here on the bottom left boss. They do not want for it to be grabbed at all. And Granit Gaming's okay with that. They'll take the Haka, put him in the top lane, soak up where they can, but Quack is trying to force his fight. He wants Memecraft. He wants the Haka to not be in that top lane, constantly getting the pressure here, maybe even trying to bait a burrow down the bottom lane.
Memecraft is having a tough time today, and that's also because he's getting focused so hard. It's not only because of him maybe making a couple of mistakes where experience in HGC would help you to avoid them. It's a lot about him being targeted. So it's not really that you can just go in and say, okay, he's not having a good day in terms of his play, but he's just attacked the entire time. There was a case in game 1. Now you have Zarmony continuously jumping on him. You're seeing immediately Genji following those plays up, and if then the salvo connects from Phoenix, there's just very little that you can do with that hit point pool.
I mean, part of it is that level 4 pickup for Genji at Strike at the Heart. If you're ever against a Hanzo and you can land that extra damage there, you can put him down to half health with a couple of shurikens afterwards, and then you can just dash out if you want to. So something to be aware of if you are a Genji player trying to play against a squishy. Really consider that level 4 pickup.
Now, the one thing that I want to still highlight, we talked about this earlier, but I want to bring that back to everyone's mind, is that Granit Gaming wants the late game. They have Samuro, and Samuro is just picking up speed at this point. You first of all are starting to also get some damage where you can move in and put the pressure onto, let's say, Malfurion, as we've seen earlier. But we have him now. If they get to 20 with this in Delusions, it's going to be fantastic for them. So this is definitely something to be considered. Already he's working around that, but the salvo is great here. Stay a while, listen, connect. Lightning Breath, the first kill. Memecraft down. Hanzo is eliminated, and Deckard Kane follows. This time we have Samuro a bit too late, and Zealots with a easy double kill.
Granit Gaming playing a little bit with fire there, trying to have that 3-man together, letting Dahaka and Samuro split off, and Zealots identify that and finally get the forced fight they've been looking for.
Trying to boss.
That is going to be a boss to continue to focus here. Dahaka and Samuro go to the top right corner. Urel's going to scout that out, though, and Urel actually in that position should be able to buy a lot of time.
Yeah, but Darkmonk is there, and they go immediately for Urel, and everything Get wrecked, kid. Wow. That was pretty awesome. Great connect here immediately. The isolation is pushed through. The Stormbolt connects after the tonk, and that was just incredibly well done. Great stacking. They get the kill. They get the boss. Granit Gaming with the plays here once again. Good decision making on their part.
That isolation was legitimately perfect timing. Already the defender wanted to be popped at a quarter health, and hopefully you get the Samuro clones, put some damage on you so you heal on up. Then you knock back away, and then of course you retreat and you buy a lot of time. But Darkmonk, man, identifying the spot where Urel just wanted to have some time to pop her heroic. Tribute in the top right corner will be up and available. It's only going to be a second tribute for either of our teams, so defending the bosses seems to be a priority for both of them.
Oh my god, they actually gave it up. They had a kill potentially against Shad there, but they actually showed too early and they can't get it. But maybe they can take down Chris. That would be enough. Chris is being attacked and they get the kill, but Deckard Kane is back down in that back lane. Shad, on the other hand, with the tranquility now. Isolation being used again. Hanzo's arrow again missing. Not a good day for Granit Gaming when it comes to arrows.
This game is becoming a sloppy joke. Chris goes in for the teleport. There is some Samuro action all over the place. Nande trying to introduce chaos for Zealots. Raid Boss getting low on health, though, as it continues to get auto-attacked. Hanzo, meanwhile, in the top right corner, is channeling the second tribute, and that will be 2 out of 3 tributes. Murden did fall, by the way, in the middle lane.
Boss, on the other hand, is still up and is currently trying to take down that keep. And Hanzo, of course, was staying back because he eliminated the boss that Zealots took at the bot lane. But they actually get away with a superior position here. Granit Gaming loses too. They only kill Phoenix, but in terms of structure damage, they are looking much better here. Just simply because that boss did so much work and because Hanzo is such a great hero when it comes to defending against bosses and anything. Yeah, so the arrow missing, I mean, it was a cross-map arrow, so it's pretty difficult to make sure that that connects, but still. Granit Gaming still have the level 17 versus 18 now. Just smidgen behind in experience, and once 20 hits, Samuro is going to become even more dangerous. And that's a double global, so to say.
Yeah.
Samuro is like that pseudo-global, and then you have not only Hanzo, who can shoot the arrow across the map if he connects at one point, but you have also Dehaka.
Zealots may have to consider the idea of giving up this keep in the top left corner. They want to deny this curse if they can. And Dehaka already has that lane pushing out, grabbing the watchtower. Actually, all Granit Gaming are posturing to even move in for that. Looks like they might just go straight for this keep and give it the tribute, which is fine for them here, especially thinking that catapult pressure to add on to the global factor. And then they open up that backdoor possibility for Samuro, which is always something you have to consider.
Yeah, Zamani sees it here. Okay, so he sees what's going on. They're going to try and defend this. They should be able to. I like the original trap, by the way, that Granit Gaming was setting up. And then they used the Samuro clone to scout, and that was just as Shat moved in with Malfurion. If Malfurion doesn't see it and just continues a little bit farther, the Stormbolt connects and he's instantly dead. So there are definitely moments when Granit Gaming looks like they are going to pull something crazy off here. But now it's all just about the experience soak, and with the global that they have, they should be able to get a good amount of side soak going for them.
Next tribute could be game for either of our teams. It will be Curse Point.
I mean, don't forget, Samuro can later on just simply sneak towards the keep and simply take that on by himself.
Yep. And he's postured for it. Samuro's actually rotating down, has a couple clones already there. Yrel has to respect it. Yrel's hanging up there trying to keep that keep alive. And this is getting intense. Especially
the windwalk damage through harsh winds is now also pretty difficult to handle for the squishies once that Samuro goes for it. I mean, we have Shikuchi on level 13, so that's already important. You have that mini teleport there, so it's a great escape tool that you have, which is an engage. So for now, Samuro still double-checking, okay, where do I go with this? Channel on Chris' side. They try to go for interrupts here. Raid boss, is it going? There comes the immediate arrow. This one connects, and Stormbolt is there right after that. Chris has to warp out, and he does. Tranquility being used by Malfurion already, as we see Diablo trying to create some space with a lightning grab. The fight still raging on, as Raid boss is forced to back out on Muradin.
He is. Shield's building for Chris as well, and they want to chase. They find Decker Kane. Quacknix and his army are able to take him out. Chris turns around and starts to channel the altar as he wants to grab this curse for his team. Nande trying to go for the interrupt, and he gets it with the clone.
And they're buying some time here, and that allows Dehaka to move into the middle to take a 4 down, or at least get a lot of damage onto it. The wave is there, and Nande is now rotating to the top. Again, the curse against Granit Gaming. The problem really is that Dehaka is just getting slapped around in every single fight. It's 4 times that he died already, but here we have another push at the top. And right now the Zealots are just saying, boys, we need to do something here. If this goes to the late game, we are going to be in trouble. So they are going to try and finish the keep off and then maybe even get more. But the top lane, that's a different story, because 20 is there now for Granit Gaming. And we talked about Samuro. And that's where we see him already starting to force someone to retreat because he's attacking the core.
They are at the core here, trying to equip these clones so he can't teleport around. Zarmini in a position where he has to sit up with that Samuro defense. Malfurion gets engaged upon the back. Left with the ice block. He puts out the last second, but he should fall here. Lightning Breath to buy some time and slow down the members. Raid Boss trying to retreat. Kreese steps up and goes out with the salvo. Can he find a kill on Raid Boss? Quackness able to help secure that kill too. Dehaka will fall, but Samuro continues to be on top of the core.
Good save here against Muradin. That was actually really well executed from him. The most important part was really Rewind. Rewind allowed Muradin to more or less one-shot Malfurion here. He got the kill eventually, and it was a good counter kill also from the Zealots. But the important thing was to just make sure you don't lose more than the keep, and that's what they did. Taking Malfurion down took all the sustain away from Zealots that they could have potentially used to try and go for core here. So still, very even game. If you look at the map, both teams have now lost a keep. But the important part is that Granit Gaming still has the global and they have Samuro, so they have an easier time dealing with the catapult pressure.
Quack unable to strike through that wall for some reason in that top left corner. Almost falls victim, but luckily the Stormbolt did not connect and he's able to dash out. Waiting on their healer. We'll have Malfurion back in about 5 seconds, but Zealots have to dance around this area. They can't give a boss. If a boss is able to push in the top lane, Granit Gaming can go for a core kill. So Zealots continue to posture and poke where they can.
This is where the macro game is going to become so important, and they're already looking for a boss. Uh-oh, Raid Boss is in a really bad spot. Does he have the rewind up? Yeah, and he jumps out.
But the boss,
he might still not be ready to go through this. He has to pop Avatar, and boss is being attacked, and here comes Zamani. Zamani jumping on Wolfjoe again, and Deckard is on the run, and that's never a good thing.
Wait, this is done, Wolfjoe. He's gonna fall here. Say one, listen, won't be helped out, but
Arrow
comes out. Wolfjoe is taken down. Chris, however, in trouble, as you mentioned, in the top left, he will fall.
he goes down. And that's the kill, the counter kill that you needed. So always the trade. And Samuro is again on the core. Samuro is on the core already as we're talking about this. While we have Shat popping the Ice Block and Tranquility, we still see the two tanks going straight for him. Malfurion is in trouble, and the core of the Zealots is losing shields. Samuro is doing his thing right now.
Zealots tried to make a call to go straight in for Hanzo.
Shat.
Zarmi did go back home, but Quagnix is in trouble. Minecraft is able to get the kill, and that's me another one too, as Shad falls. Just Robodoba by himself.
Two are down, the core has lost the shield, someone had to retreat, it was Urel, and with Urel gone, all of a sudden we see those 2 kills against Genji and Malfurion coming in. Robodoba is low, and Robodoba will fall.
Robodoba falls, and gosh, that level 20 talent, man. Bottomless Flask gave enough time for Hanzo to dance around and be able to stay alive, even though Genji was jumping on top of him. So Decker came, even though he's taken out, he was still there in spirit.
Yeah, stay alive and listen a little bit. Raid boss being attacked yet again. Oh, sorry, Raid boss going straight for the... The flag on the boss for some reason triggered Raid boss here in my head. But yeah, they're going for the boss again. Raid boss is also one of the guys that's here, but there's a triple catapult now locking into the core. And Zealots are looking like they're going to lose this. The boss is going to move through the top lane.
Yeah?
This is more or less a checkmate position. What do you do now? There's a tribute spawning, so you can curse. You have boss already, and your opponent doesn't have a keep at the top. How do the Zealots defend here? They have 63% on the core, and you have a Samuro moving in as well.
I don't think they can.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Big arrow comes out, and Chris gets deleted again. Robodoba will be next. Our defender comes out, but it's not going to be enough. Granit Gaming should be able to clean that up soon here as the boss continues to walk up the top lane. The curse has been collected, and Granit Gaming with some Muro gameplay are able to find themselves in a position where they can tie up the series against the Zealots.
13 kills against 10, and the core is gonna fall here. Make that 14. Granit Gaming with a kill-heavy game, showing the aggression, showing the Samuro plays, controlling the macro, and tying the series.
What a hard composition to play against, having to Haka and Samuro consistently trying to pull you apart. And you saw the Zealots trying to force fights a lot, but the issue is there was not many opportunities. Sure, we had a big fight in the bottom right corner that Zealots were able to get that fight and be able to grab the tribute and get the curse, but overall, the entire game, Granit Gaming was able to play macro well.
They just couldn't control Nande. He didn't die once on Samuro. And of course, the bottomless flasks on Deca did so much, but also... Even though that, it's really funny because Deckard had, through that, such a huge impact, and also some of the stay a while and listens really saved teammates that were crucial in these fights. But they jumped on him every single time. He died 5 times there, and it was just